All right. Welcome, everybody. We are going to be going over we're basically calling it Smart Moves Need Data. And it's a tool that Kevin built for us to be able to track the data within a school community. And it gives us, how would you put that? Like more information that's not just revolving. Like we get steady data that we can come back to and refer. And that way, when we're running tests, we're able to look back on it and see that whether something's working or not. It's how like somebody would prove something that they're trying out on, like whether it's an about page or within the community, or if they're trying to increase engagement. This is how you know whether or not it's working. So,
Yeah,
all
that's a
right.
good way to put it. That's right.
Well, we will jump right into it, and I'll go ahead and leave it to you to show us how it works and everything with it.
All right. Thank you, Jenna. All right. Oh, I see there's someone else also in the. Okay, you got it. All right. Welcome everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna show you a tool that I built to help with managing school communities, and I've built it to track data just for myself. But I also realized, talking with Jenna and a few community managers or admins, whether they are owners or they are helpers in the community, adminning essentially for community owners on Skool, that tracking those data is important, but also, especially for admins, it can be proving that the work admins are doing is actually valuable to the owner of the community, which probably means securing their job, showcasing their value. I don't know, maybe asking for a raise, whatever you can think of around that. That's that's the idea behind the tool and how it can help. So I'm gonna probably just go right into it and show how it works and what it looks like. And yeah, so you can see what it is. So let me share my screen. So the tool is actually a spreadsheet. There's two parts to it. It's a spreadsheet to collect the data, and there's another part which is like a reporting that looks that present the data in a bit of a nicer way, easier to look at, and more presentable to actually reflect on them and see what's happening. I just give me 1 second. I just lost my view of everyone. Oh, right here. Oh, okay. All right. So this is the spreadsheet. This is just a page for help and support, but this is essentially what it looks like. And it probably looks pretty boring, but what the tool does is you connect this tool to your community simply by filling up that configuration form. And you're going to enter a few information to connect your community or your user to the tool. And then you configure the community that you want to track data for. And it not only works with just one community, but it works for the free to paid model, meaning you can track the metrics for the free community, but also the paid. And I recently added if that owner is running also a premium community or some high ticket, like a third one, it can also track the information for that third one as well. But it doesn't have to be three, it can be only one if you have only one that you want to track data for. So essentially you connect that, you configure this, you save it, and with a click of a button right here, it schedules to run every night automatically without you being there. And it's going to just record a new, so in this case, as you can see on screen, just one new row every day. And that row is going to be a snapshot of all the metrics of your community. And I'm going to go over the list of all the metrics that this is tracking in a second. But essentially, every night, all the metrics from the community is going to be added to the spreadsheet. And it's going to keep adding automatically without you being doing anything manually. And this is very important so you can have the entire history of all the data. And that's what we're going to showcase on a report. I'm not sure how to call that, but like a nice report with graphs so you can see what's happening and the evolution of the metrics of your community. So now when I say metrics, what are those metrics? So I'm going to go a bit like one by one, but yeah. So the first one is when this is actually running. So at night when the data, the snapshot is being taken, I have a couple of dates around that, and this is the exact time that the data has been, the snapshot has been taken, and for which day. That's just for easier. It's essentially the same date, but without the the time. And like I said, you can run it for multiple communities. So you can filter. Actually, I'm showcasing just the one for one community, which is the paid community in this case. This is a demo example. So, but here you would have the name of your community if you were running that. For mine, my community is a for free time. So in mine, I have a for free time. But this is just a demo with dummy data examples. So you can filter on just the specific community you want to see the data. It also, so it records, so in this case, it's a paid community. So you're going to record how many paid members are actually uh, in that paid community. Self-explanatory. It's going to showcase the MRR as well. So what's your monthly recurring revenue for on that day? And also everything about that we can see. So I can show, no, not this, but what you can see on the dashboard inside the settings of your community, like the total about page visitors that came on the about page for the last 7 days. Same thing for the signups. So in the past 7 days, how many members have signed up to the community? What's the conversion rate for that? It's going to track also if there were course sales, so the one-time payments that have been happening. This is all time, so this metric is only going to grow. The one-time sales and the churn rate, which is people like leaving the community, so you can keep track of that. I'm not sure why this one is negative. I think it's because of my dummy test data. So you're gonna get a snapshot of those metrics like every day. Same thing if you are using the free trial. You can track, it's gonna track all the metrics around that. This is about the discovery now. So everything about the discovery, if your community is showing in the discovery, what's the rank, which category. And so there's two ranks. There's actually the category rank, but we still have access from before when Skool didn't have categories. They were ranking communities like overall, and that data is still available. So we are keeping track of that. So you can see overall what's your rank, what your community ranks to in the overall ranking of Skool. So yeah, those one were for the discovery. And next we have members. So how many members in the community? The active members in the community, the ones that were active in the past 30 days. Actually, I said active members. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's for the community. The daily activity count, which is how many activities happened in the community. And this one is an interesting one that I added. It's how many hardcore count. I should rename that probably, but it's how many members of your community have the flame in their profile. So how many are really like hardcore members or hardcore Skool users. probably, because that counts toward, it's not just inside your school. Having the flame is overall on the Skool platform. And then those last columns, as you can see, are how many members are at level 1, at which level. So this is all the levels, level 1 to level 9, and you can see how many members are at that level on that day. So this allows us to track progress. I think it's especially important to see the evolution of level 1 mostly. I think level 1, 2, and 3 maybe, but definitely level 1. Because you want people to join the community, get engaged, and you want to try to get them to the next levels. So if you compare that to how many members are joining, you can have a good idea of how you are converting them into engaged members. So that's I think important information. So that's the list of all the data that are being tracked on a daily basis. And so what the tool is going to do every night, it's going to add a new entry with all the exact metrics from that particular community. So now what do we do with this data? I'm sorry, I thought I had it opened. We can look at them in a bit of a nicer way, which is the report that I mentioned. So this is what it looks like. Let me zoom in a bit. Where essentially you can see the information on a graph. Like in this example, there's only the paid community, but if you have multiple, you can filter on which community you want to see the data. And also I think that important thing is that you can navigate through the dates that you've recorded the data, and you can select a specific period. So for instance, if we want to report like on a monthly basis, we can look at just the months of May, for instance. So I would do this. I would go to May 31st, and I would apply. This is going to refresh, and you can see all the graphs have changed from dates. And like right here, we can see it's May 1st all the way to May 31st. So now all the graphs are showcasing what happened during this particular month. And you can see how the metrics have evolved. This is not, the dates are not applicable for those top ones because they are just what's the current, the latest, like the total members, we're just seeing it, the total members for that day for, I mean, the most recent metrics. So we can see that in this one, we started the month of May with 337 members and we ended with 591. So I think that's a good indicator to show how the community grew by doing that. What just happened? Oops, sorry. Okay, just back. Give me 1 second. I think. All right. And so we have the total members. So it's basically representing the data that I just presented from the spreadsheet. So the total members, we can see the evolution here. Same thing for the total paid members, which is probably, if it's the paid community, it should be correlated unless you let people in for free, which can happen, obviously. You can see the evolution of the churn rate over the months, the course of the months. And now we have the same thing around the financials. And you can see we started with the months with 3,300 monthly recurring revenue, and we ended the months at 10,450. So that show over that period of time again are the evolution. And this is kind of what we like to see is a graph like this on the MRR that starts and just grow over time. But again, perfect to showcase with data how the community has been performing. So on this graph, we also see the one-time sales, the all-time course sales. Now we have also the information about more of the funnel side of things, which is the about page visitors, how many visited the about page, how many signed up, what's the conversion rate, and the evolution of that. So same thing, we can see that with a graph. And on page 2, we have the engagement, which we can see the active members, the hardcore counts, which is the members with the flame, and the daily activity counts. Same thing. The data affects only the graphs that we can see here, and we can see the evolution of the active members in the community, the members having the flame, the total members having the flame, and the daily activity count. In this case, like the data and the demo are pretty cool because they are all increasing in the right direction, right? Yeah, and this we can see also the level 1 count. So how many members are still at level 1? Again, this is the most recent data, and we can see the percentage. We have a gauge to see what that represents over the total number of members. And same thing for level 2 and level 3. But I think those are the most important one, like I said earlier, especially level 1s, because you want to get people engaged as they join, so they move on to level 2, and ideally you want to keep that number to the minimum. I mean, that's the goal. All right,
That's
and
great.
the
I
last
think that
section.
one
Yeah.
of the things I was going to ask you is you can, because of the fact that this is storing all of it, you don't have to save every single page, but you could, right?
When you say every single page,
So, like, normally, if I'm trying to go to the about page, I would have to screenshot it and like notate that time. Be like, this is a screenshot of the about page and the conversion, and this
yes,
is the and I'd have to store all of that stuff, and then I'd have
yes,
to create a page like this. But because this one's storing it, it's you can just click and change the dates at any time and be able to look at it if you're like an owner and trying to make a decision. Like, are these ads going good? Is our onboarding system getting people plugged in? Is the engagement that we're getting from the I don't know, the admins or an engagement booster, is that actually helping getting people plugged in and talking more? Because then we can also see the rank if it's like increasing or not. And
absolutely.
so I think all that's good. But if you were, let's say, an admin and you're trying to have like a weekly report with them, if you don't want to have to pull up this and show through it, yes, I can get you a snack. Um, but yeah, you could just couldn't you like save it as a page, or you could take like a screenshot of it to share
Yeah,
with your owner?
absolutely. And it's still available anytime to go back in time. Like if I want to go and check April, I can come here, so here and here, and I would apply, and now it refreshes all the data with April. And you can see, so as soon as you start tracking, you will have access to all the data, and you can just see them, and you can see the evolution. And you can see at the end of the year, you can even go and say, okay, we're going to look at how the year went, and we can just show the entire year of data. Yeah. And just like you said, this is good because you can correlate everything you are doing on the community. Like you said, if you hire an engagement booster, it starts that day, you can see if that changes things looking at those data. If you are changing the about page copy, you can see how that affects the metrics. If you change, I don't know, something that you do in the community to get people to engage from level 1 when they join, You can see how that affects those numbers. You can keep track all of it. All of it is all the data are kept tracked automatically. So you can look at it and correlate them to everything that you are doing within the community to make it better or engage people or whatever you um, you do in the community. You can see if that affects how that affects the community in a positive way or maybe negative way, and you can back that up with data.
I think the other thing is like even if somebody, so let's say we're doing organic traffic or we're doing paid traffic, we would be able to find out pretty quickly if we're tracking the data if it's even the right crowd that we're bringing in. Like, are these
Yeah.
people getting plugged in, and is this good, or are they churning really fast? Um, the other part I like about it is when you have something like this and you have to make a decision on what you're going to go forward with. If you're guessing, you're not like it's not solid. It's not even a good decision. To me, it's not a good decision because and that's what we mostly have had on schools. Like we're having to do guesses like out of thin air on what's working and what's not. But I and I think that the other part is if a person is working for you, this helps you know whether or not it's actually working. And if you are working for somebody, you can show them the ROI of your help. Because there's a lot of ROI, like we talk about the return on investment, that isn't always going to be monetization. It doesn't necessarily mean like you could have a role where you're just helping making sure that people stay. And that doesn't mean that like yeah, churn would be lower, but you'll be able to show that they're staying in and they're actually being plugged in. Because that's what retention means. Retention means that they are not only staying within the community, but they're actively engaging and they're going through it. So this would show that. So it really helps when you're trying to make a decision on where am I spending my money? Where am I spending my time? What do I need to spend more time into? Maybe I need to switch the onboarding. Maybe I need to make more posts. You could see what it's like if you make a post every single day, or if you make one twice a day, or if you do it like every other day. You would have the data on what works best for your people.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's pretty cool. What was that last section that you were going to show us? I think it was the discovery before I cut you off.
Yeah, it's tracking the discovery information, essentially your rank and how it evolves through times again. I think we are on the month of April, so I mean, and again, this is like dummy data, but it's probably looking like that because we are probably constantly evolving around. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, we want that to go down and have the rank being super low in the first position. It's interesting because this one we want it to go down because we want to rank like in the top,
Mhm.
which which means probably close to zero or
Yeah.
one actually. Um, but yeah, that's what we can see for the month of April, how the actual category rank for that community evolved through that graph.
Awesome. And so now this is your community called Community Flow. And what I appreciate, and I think that some people need to understand, is like when you're getting a tool like this and it's through a community, you don't have to worry about showing up in the community, which like. I appreciate on some
Mhm.
factors because when you're somebody that's busy and you're working your community and you're working other people's communities, you don't have to feel like, oh no, I'm not engaging or whatever. You have made this just available, and if people have questions, they can
Yeah.
ask and get help with it. So I think something that would be cool is if people start using the tool more often, and if they find something that they find is useful, like, hey, we switched this on our onboarding. You see, you can tell from our community flow dashboard that it's changed that. Like you could show that that's what that was adjusted on the data, and if people wanted to share that, that'd be cool. But they don't have to feel the pressure to do that, and I appreciate that you make it not like, hey,
Yes.
everybody, you need to engage, and you're not even having to post every day. So it's one of those relaxing things where I'm like, I could pay for this and I can be a part of the tool and
Yeah.
get what I need. So
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
wanted to put that
There's
out there.
yeah, there's not so much string attached that you need to be engaged in the community. It's also for support purposes. If you have questions, if you have problems, or if you have ideas on how we can add maybe more data, you can post that in the community. That's the place where we can brainstorm and discuss improvements, um, bugs. There might be bugs. It's a software after all, so there's always like the chance of having bugs. Yeah, and improvements and more features to the tool as well.
Yeah, I think that's another important part to bring up is the fact that yeah, it is a tool that is running daily for you, and there is a like, I would see that the monthly membership is more of, like, just a maintenance fee as you're keeping it in check and everything, and if you're gonna
Yeah,
add stuff, we all get the ad. I think it'll be cool to also see whenever they bring out and one thing that I will be asking when it does come out is the native video, because I think that we're gonna have the ability to track more on, like, who's really going through it, because then you'll be able to correlate with the data. Like, did the onboarding work and did they get engaged? And does that mean that they're going through the classrooms?
yes.
So that'll be really cool. And is there anything else that you want to bring up, or do you want to let people know how much it is, or how do they get involved?
Yeah, let's I have a few other things that I can showcase because that tool has more things. It has
Perfect.
some upgrades that you can get access. I know there's a few users that are on the call that are avid of the other features, so I'm going to show some of them. But first, yeah, let me share how to get access. So if you want to get access, well, first, I think I mentioned that briefly, but this tool, essentially, the way it works, if you want to set it up, so for setting it up, it's very easy. It's just a few steps. Everything is described. There's a few videos inside the community that's going to walk you through the steps. Probably takes about 10 minutes to set up, roughly. Where essentially you make a copy of that spreadsheet. You're gonna enter the configuration like I showed you in this. It's not a pop-up, it's a slide out. So it's gonna load. You can see you enter your information to log in, which is called the Skool cookie. And you connect and you enter the data of the community. This tool has also a license. You just, when you're in the community, you can get access to your license. You're gonna put it right here, and then you're good to go. You click that button, it scheduled the nightly run, and it's gonna run automatically for you. So yeah, about 10 minutes roughly to set it up. So yeah, if you want to get access, I'm gonna put the link in the chat to get access to the community. To get this, the community is $29 right now, and you can get access through the link. Um, yeah, this is Community Flow. You can join right now and get started, get it set up, and that's going to give you access to set the spreadsheet up. Oh, and you're going to have to create also just make a copy of the report if you want to start looking at it. But the first and most important part is to get the data recording going as soon as possible so you get the most data um, as fast as possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what makes this? I would just want to like be the devil's advocate on here. What makes this different than the other opportunities out there to get data or data, whatever you call it? Is it data or data? you know,
um, uh,
because
I
I feel
mean,
like
it,
there's been a few other places out there that have I mean, I know as far as price wise, there's a huge difference. This one's very affordable. But there's other
Yeah,
ones out there that are tracking stuff, and I feel like this what you created is pretty straightforward and simple.
yes. Yeah, definitely. With this one, it's I mentioned bugs, but it's been running for like a long time now. Because I created it quite a while back, and it's been running and proven it's very resilient and reliable. I haven't had to fix bugs in like probably 6 months. Uh, so that's one thing. Also, like you said, I think it's more affordable than the other options. Also easier to access, setup, and I think it has right now with just this only only the information that you need. Um, and we track also maybe a few more. I mean, I don't want to compare it to others necessarily, but maybe a few more information that some others might not track. Um, yeah,
And this is really cool. I just noticed the second video, is that Prince?
yeah, yeah. That's Prince. That's a testimonial because I've been using that tool with a community. Is he was working with is not working with them anymore, more or less. And we've used this feature, but we are also using more of the other features of the tool that I can demonstrate shortly. And yeah, he's explaining it's a little testimonial from him about how this helped win. Because I joined that community to help them when they were running for the school games,
Hmm.
and we pushed to win the school game. So I was part of the team when we won the school games
That's
back in
awesome.
November, and we finished second position.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that one other thing that I would mention is I know that we have some people on here that have been inside like masterminds and stuff. And what I what I recommend to every single person is that when you get involved with the community, you need to be tracking this stuff. So it's not a like, oh, should I track this? It is like you must track this because you need to be able to prove that your help has been helping. And if you're not tracking it, a lot of people put it off. They go like, "Oh, it's just tedious work," and like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go look at the about page at every time, set an alarm, go put this in there." Yeah, you would, and that's for me for $29 a month. I'd rather it just do it automatically for me in the background because tracking every single little detail and putting it into an Excel sheet, like what you've done, but doing it manually would take me, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe 15 if I was like
yeah,
super focused. But that saves me a good amount of time, and I would rather do it this way because I also know that human error can
yeah.
happen, and
Typing data.
yeah, I wouldn't want to mess it up like that. But we should be sending, like, we should either be doing a report on ourselves in our own community, or we should be doing a report for the community owners that we're helping.
That's
All
right.
right. So, was there more stuff that you wanted to show us before we end the recording for the YouTube, and then we can go into Q&A, or
Yeah, absolutely. I can showcase
okay.
another feature of it on the demo app. So we have this. So this is an upgrade inside the community. If you want even more data at the members level, you can get that as well. So we got two. Oh, I'm gonna come back to this, but um, where every night you can also refresh the list of members with all the information about the members. You can get so their information. So this again, this is dummy data. But you get all the information about the member, like first name, last name, handle, their email address, the location, the bio, all those things, which role they have in the community. So you can also see if they are moderator or admin, so you get everyone in there. Also the status, if they are active or if they are counseling or if they are actually they've churned from the community. This is keeping track of all of them. And also you can see at which level they are at inside the community. Also, the activity status, when did they join the community, like the date and time, how long has it been? So this is like the number of days since they joined the community. So you can, and of course, having all those data like this, I mean, the goal of this is that you can filter on this data. Like for instance, if you want to figure out, oh, I want to see every new members who joined since yesterday, who joined today essentially, or who joined yesterday. You can just filter on that particular um, column, and you're gonna just see all those members. And then if you want to reach out to them while you have that list, you can go in and DM them or use another thing that I've built, which is being able to bulk DM your members, which I'm gonna quickly show after that. And some more data you can filter on is when they were last active on Skool. Same thing, this is the number of days, so you can filter on that. If it's a paid, so you have access to one tab per communities. So if you have a free and a paid, you get two. If you have the premium, you can have a third one. If it's a free, well, obviously there's no membership. But if it's a paid, you would see here, like in this one, I think. Yeah, you can see like this one is canceling, for instance. I mentioned the level. So wait. Okay, right here. So you can see the membership price that they are paying, and like that's the interval if it's monthly or yearly, or one time if there's a one time. You can also see what's their lifetime value. And again, you can filter on all those data so you can see, and maybe you want to reach out to your higher paying members who have paid the most in the community. Well, you can filter or sort through the LTV, for instance, and then you can do a special message to these members. Like this one, this person is canceling, so you can see when did they click cancel, what's the estimated churn date, and I think this one is missing. Oh, but you see also the estimates how many days until they're going to churn, so you can see that as well. I don't know, I think that's just because it's dummy data, but it should be there like this one. How many posts they've posted inside the community. And so back on the free, you can see all their membership questions with their answer. So this is also pretty good to filter if you have, like in this case, the question was, how familiar are you with a certain topic? And the answer was three options like beginner, intermediate, or expert, or advanced. You can filter on that specific levels and get that group of members and do something with that list. So yeah, that's another feature that can be added on top of it. That works within this tool. It's an upgrade on the spreadsheet. And the last one that I want to mention is also the capability to bulk DM your members, where you can filter right here based on a certain criteria. You copy the list like this. You prepare your message right here. You can personalize the message, and you can just run it. Oh, it's not, I don't know. Well, you just come here, you have a menu it's the demo, so it's not there, but you just click on send the DM, and it's gonna start sending that message to that list like this. And yeah, so you don't have to do it manually.
That's so helpful because One, not only the whole bulk thing, but if you had it just even giving you an alert when somebody has canceled, because that's the other thing that Skool doesn't do is it doesn't tell you when somebody's canceling. And
Yes.
there isn't no, there's like, yes, you have the cancellation video that they may or may not choose to watch when they go to cancel, but it gives you the opportunity to reach out and like talk to them and see what's going on. Because sometimes it could be nothing to do with the community itself. It could be like life circumstances, but you won't know that unless you actually talk to them. So
Yeah. So every morning you could come here and filter on like this canceling, and you would see everyone who is canceling, who it's canceling. So you can then decide to reach out to them and say, hey, what's happening? What's missing? And start the conversation to increase your retention. You can easily track that from here, without necessarily having to go and inside the members, do the filtering there. And because if you have a bigger community, you can take that entire list, copy that into that bulk DM, and just send them a DM to all of them.
that's
So
awesome. And I think that from what I've heard when I talk to Sam, is as long as you're not doing like a spamming thing, all of this stuff is okay. Because like I know that there's like almost a feel that you don't want to use automations or you don't want to use AI or you don't like that's not what they're talking about. Like they don't want to like give a thumbs up approval and that's why there's like no posts on it. But I personally messaged Sam and I asked if this is allowed. Because I was like, if I'm going to spend money on it or I'm going to tell people that they should do it, then I want to make sure that it is okay. And it is. It is okay as long as you're not using it to spam, which is why you can't do
yeah,
like you couldn't use it as an email list, like a bulk DM to everybody and like constantly annoying them, because that would
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but
yeah,
definitely to reach out to a certain group of your members for specific purposes, just to make your life easier. I think that's a better use of the tool.
definitely. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this YouTube recording. Thank you guys for watching this, and we will leave the link below in the description if you want to go ahead and join it to help track your data so you can make a smarter decision. And then we'll go into the Q&A part.
Yep. Thanks for watching.